In the last tutorial, we set up replicated collision, but we are still missing the fun stuff. No damage, no hit react montage, nothing. Our custom Anim notify state fires the collision, but right now it's bare bones, just an effect class array and no effects to plug in. Therefore, in this episode, we'll polish that notify and add features we need before we start applying effects. We'll start in collision notify state, create CollisionActivationData.h to keep things tidy. Add the includes, then declare a new struct that will hold every property we want exposed in the notify. I'm cutting the old field out of this notify class, so we'll leave in this new header instead. Don't forget the forward declaration. Hardcoding the socket isn't flexible, so let's change that. Add a U property for the socket. Create an enum with a few predefined sockets to avoid retyping names. Wrap it in a FCollision socket settings struct. Default the enum to custom. Add a meta tag to show the text box only if custom is selected, keeping the UI neat. We are also hardcoding the collision shape, but we want it to be dynamic. Define an enum for sphere and box. Build a shape setting struct. For box, add a box extend vector. Meta only show when box is picked. For the sphere, add a radius. Add an offset so we can nudge the component without moving the socket itself. Drop shape settings into CollisionActivationData. To add more punch to our hits, we might want to shove an actor. We make an enum which actor to move, an enum for direction. You can extend this to add any direction that you want, if you want up, down, left, right, or whatever else. Now we make a struct for movement settings. I'm going to add a boolean to know if we should move the actor or not. And I'm also going to add move distance. add that struct to CollisionActivationData plus a b show debug collision flag. Back in collision notify state, add a U property of type FCollisionActivationData, and let's compile. I'm getting a few errors because I forgot to add blueprint type to some of my structs. There's still some errors as we did move the old effect class array to our CollisionActivationData. So let's fix the references. No more compile errors now. Inside the notify asset, you'll now see the collision data drop down. Visually they work, but the runtime logic isn't hooked yet, so let's fix that. Add a static helper inside FCollisionActivationData. If our Anim is set to custom and we don't have a name typed in, we're just gonna log an error. Otherwise, we return the name. If it's set to one of our predefined assets, we just need to perform a lookup. The box extent and radius field are still showing when they shouldn't. So let's try and fix that. In the combat component, replace the hard-coded socket with CollisionData.getSocketName. After finish spawning, let's apply the offset. Inside the CollisionActor, let's make sure we have authority before we initialize the actor. Let's add an array of actors to ignore to avoid double hits. Cache a local copy of CollisionData. Let's make it replicated and make an unwrap function. I'm also gonna need a select collision component helper to pick from sphere or box and set the radius. Add an active collision component pointer. Remove the old sphere-only bindings. Show debug only if B, show debug collision is true. When the data is replicated to the client, we will also set some properties for the client. Create setup collision defaults. Start with no collision. Enable overlap only during activation. Later, we'll promote these defaults into collision data for blueprint tweaking. In overlap begin, we need an early out if other actor is already in the list of ignore actors. So we are going to add it to the array. Call handle movement. Cache the movement setting locally so we don't have to type the whole thing over and over. If B should move actor, then we decide who should move. We need an interface so that the remote actor can move itself. Let's implement the interface on the base character. Calculate the push direction from our forward vector. Now if the direction is forward, we have to reverse it. Let's remove these leftover codes. I'm going to pick left shoulder as we already have a socket with that name. Let's go and make sure that's the case. I see that there's a typo here, so let's fix that. Let's test to see if it works. It's hard to tell if the other actor is moving, so let's increase the move distance. There we go, everything works. Time to move on to real gameplay effects next. That's it for polishing the Anim notify state. Comment or join the Discord if you have any questions. And subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. See you in the next one.